Hello, everyone. Good evening and welcome to the 25th Silver Jubilee celebration episode of ICPA Clinical Series. And as you all know, we run ICPA Clinical Series with the theme of each episode one clinical challenge. And since this was the 25th episode, we realized we need to solve a special problem, or you can say a special request that we were receiving. We have been receiving from the audience that we should keep a topic on digital dentistry, although we had covered it earlier. But this time there was a request on advanced instruments, gadgets, and also, if possible, artificial intelligence. So for that, we had a clear choice as to whom to call as the guest speaker for today's session. And I take great privilege and pride in inviting my good friend, Dr. Ashish Mittal, who is the CEO of ADITE India. He was the country manager for Sirona India from 2007 to 2015, and then he was a country manager for 3Shape India from 2017 to 2022. And Dr. Ashish Mittal has been an entrepreneur, and he is a startup to scale business leader, and he has a vast experience across digital dentistry and a lot of newer gadgets that are making themselves um, what you can say popular and very applicable in modern dentistry. Being a great digital technology enthusiast, he is here today to throw light on one of the most contemporary topics, that is artificial intelligence and the new digital dentist. So the two things that he's going to cover today are: the first one, scan, upload, and download the design and manufacture. And he's going to talk about restoration, starting from single crowns to complete dentures. And throughout the lecture, you will see how artificial intelligence is becoming an enabler for every new age digital dentist. So, welcome, Dr. Ashish. The stage is all yours. You can start your presentation.
Thank you so much, Rajiv sir. First of all, I feel very honored to be invited to the 25th episode. And thank you so much for this opportunity. And thanks for everyone who's participating. This is late in the evening. You have come back from your clinic, tired, but I can assure you that what we are going to probably discuss or see in the next few minutes is going to be very energizing, and it will open new vistas for you, and probably give you an insight as to the exciting times we as dentists are at the moment. And in the future, this is going to be absolutely something which dentistry will evolve into one of the most desired professions. And that's the reason for my topic, artificial intelligence and the new digital dentist. Now, why this particular topic, new digital dentist? Because at this point in time, we are not seeing the great migration into the new digital world with artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence has just come into dentistry. There are dentists in pockets all over the globe who are using artificial intelligence. So they have evolved to a certain extent, but the great migration in the larger population of dentists has not taken place as yet. So this is something to be seen, and probably in the next couple of years, maybe 3 to 4 years, we are going to see a very different dentist come into play. So now, getting into the topic, what is dentistry today? Now, just reminding, I don't want to get into the details. We all are dentists right now, but what exactly, or who is a dentist? So dentistry encompasses physics, chemistry, biology, and arts. And when we talk about arts, we are talking about fine arts, and we're also talking about virtual 3D designing. So just to take it forward, when we talk about biology, we are talking about HNF, head, neck, face. We all have studied that, tooth included. Physics, we learn about torque, path of insertion, cantilever, X-rays, lasers, and wavelength. So when we say, we need to, we are a sort of an expert on HNF in biology. That comes from the medical side. From the engineering side, it is physics. And then we also need to understand chemistry, covalent bonds. We need to understand material sciences, bonding, bonding cements, so on and so forth. So we are sort of a chemical, I wouldn't call it an engineering, but an expert in chemistry as well. And now what is added is new age 3D technology, which requires every dentist to have 3D spatial orientation. This is very important, that all of us are able to visualize the patient in from a 3D perspective, whether we are treating intraorally or whether we are seeing it in a software, whether we are designing, we need to have this 3D spatial orientation. And of course, there are technologies like 3D printers, cone beam CTs have been around for a long time, milling units, and artificial intelligence software, which we are going to dwell in at a later stage. Now, apart from biology, physics, chemistry, and new age 3D technology, the basic requirement of being a dentist is fine arts. Basically, you need to sculpt, that is tooth preparation, and you need to build. Now I've given a small little definition. Now, if you mix all of these above five uh, parameters, biology, physics, chemistry, 3D technology, fine arts, you mix them in a palette and you create those beautiful smiles like painter, like, and chisel that tooth like a sculpture. So this is what is dentistry today. And if all of us need to understand new age 3D technology to fulfill this definition. So I've started with the definition of dentistry, and now we dwell into the next stage. Now, what has been practiced a lot, or what we learned in in our school, was analog dentistry. We all know that, we learned that in dental school. We got our shoes, our white coats full of plaster. There was monomer all around. There was green paste. We have learned about loss fast techniques, so on and so forth. In short, what we learned in our dental college was nothing but manual labor. That was all about a very laborious kind of environment. It was a kind of a dirty environment. It was a dusty environment. So that is what is analog dentistry. And typically this is what it looked like when we were in our dental schools. As I said, we had this pressure cooker. We all remember the pressure cooker. It's probably still used, but it's outdated. You had the lathes, and then you had the typical, POP, or rubber base impressions. In fact, rubber base impressions are still used, but this is almost like an outdated dentistry at this point in time. Why? Because welcome to the new digital dental era. This is the era where our patients are using smartphones. They have become smart patients. And if you see all around, they watch Netflix on smart TVs. And our dentistry has also become digital. It's slowly and steadily becoming digital. We are already partially digitized because we are using RVGs from a long time. We are using 2D pans from a long time. CBCTs have been used from a long time as well, but artificial intelligence is relatively new. And are we ready for it? Of course, we are ready for it, because our patients are ready for it. Because what are the patients doing? The patients are flaunting their smile by taking a selfie. So every time when they are taking a selfie, they are showing their teeth. And as a result, the importance of cosmetic teeth has multiplied vastly. We see this in our practice as well. So, digital dentistry is has arrived in India, has arrived all over the world, and artificial intelligence is going to be the next big leap. So I'm going to run a small little video. I hope we can hear it. This is just to get you into the context of what is a typically a smart dentist or a smart uh, uh, digital dentist. I hope this plays. So I'm just trying to connect it. Sorry for the ad. Dr. Rajiv, was that audible?
It was
Hello,
not
Dr.
audible. It was
Rajiv?
not audible. We could only see it.
Okay. I'm
The
sorry
audible.
about it. I mean, there was a very nice little music around, but the
What you
basic
can do
con.
is, what you can do is,
Yeah,
if you can
yeah,
uh, copy the URL and if you can put in the chat section.
sure. I will do that. I will do
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
No problem.
So
You can
now,
continue the
yeah,
lecture first.
yeah, yeah. So now, basically, the essence of that video was that you saw a very modern dentist. He had a modern gadget called intraoral scanner. You also saw a 3D printer in his clinic. So there was a 3D printer. You saw a very smart patient who was fully engaged. So there was a software, and the dentist was designing the smile in consultation with the patient. So the patient engagement was there right from the scanning to the planning and so on and so forth. This was a case of smile design. And this is going to be a reality in everyday practice now. Probably it will become the norm in the next 2 or 3 years, where the patient may also get engaged in the design. And I'm going to touch upon that later because that's a part of augmented reality, which I'm going to, probably showcase later. But in order to do digital dentistry, you need some gadgets. Now, if you see on the left hand side, that is a typical dental laboratory. Now, that's a dental laboratory from India. And you can see that there are designers who are CDTs. They are smartly dressed. They are in front of a laptop, and next to them is a milling unit and a scanner. So, this is how a typical digital laboratory looks like now. I don't know how many of us, typically visit our laboratories. It's a very nice environment. All I'm talking about the ones who have upgraded into digital. It's very nice environment. It's all air conditioned. There's hardly any speck of dust. There are special rooms for polishing and so on and so forth. But this is how it looks like. And on the right hand side is a typical clinic with a cat cam. Now you can see this lady. She is working on the cat portion, that's called computer aided dentistry. And there is a milling unit and there is a 3D printer. So this completes the setup for a particular dentist on the right hand side. Now, what was missing from a long time was that the dentist, is typically not used to designing. We have never learned softwares in our colleges, so that was a biggest disadvantage of not being able to use cat cam in clinics. And this now has been addressed to a large extent by artificial intelligence, and also by a new concept called design centers, which I'm going to dwell upon later. But what the key message from this slide is that to practice a full-fledged CAT CAM based dentistry, you need a scanner, you need a software, and you need either or a 3D printer or a milling unit or both. Uh, but the biggest enabler into a digital dentistry has been the intraoral scanner. Now, intraoral scanner is nothing new in India. We have, every city, every small city having an intraoral scanner. There are dentists who own that. Initially, when I started selling a Sirec, these gadgets were very costly. It was almost the cost of a BMW, at a cost of around 35 to 40 lakhs for an intraoral scanner. And today, when we talk about intraoral scanner, we say that you can buy an intraoral scanner at a cost of a Wagoner, maybe at around 5 lakhs or 6 lakh Indian rupees. And they're pretty decent. So technology is available, technology is becoming really affordable. And the intraoral scanner is the enabler to AI dentistry. So if you want to actually get the benefit of artificial dentistry, you need to have a minimum intraoral scanner, and then you can gradually build it up. But this is the starting point. And as I said, this has now become very affordable. If today you have the capacity to buy a Wagoner on a loan from a bank, and Wagoner will cost around 5 or 6 lakh rupees, and if you're able to take a bank loan for 3 years, you can actually own a intraoral scanner. So intraoral scanner is available for less than 7,000 US dollar in India, and can go up to almost uh, as close to around 35 to 40,000 US dollar, depending on which brand you take. But this is the starting point, and this is now almost mandatory to practice the next level dentistry. So, what is the workflow typically? The workflow is you diagnose. So, you have a patient, you do your clinical diagnosis, you do your X-ray diagnosis. Then, in step number two, you take an intraoral scan. Intraoral scan, it's a gadget, and once you do an intraoral scan, the scan is reflected on a software. If you have a design software, you design it on your own. If you do not have the design software, at this stage, you send it to a laboratory. This is the normal way of practicing digital dentistry. um, the laboratory will import your scan. It's just like downloading the scan. They will, design this on the software. After that, after the design is verified by the dentist, it goes into production in a milling unit, and a crown is delivered. So this is the normal flow. And in this particular flow, the dentist and the laboratory are completely connected until and unless you have an in-house CAD cam. So if you have a CAD and a cam, you do this entire workflow inside your clinic. But if you do not have a milling unit, then typically the concept is called send to lab. So basically what you're doing is you are acquiring the scan and you're sending the production completely to the laboratory. So this is how dentistry is being done mostly till date. But things are changing. And again, I wanted to show a video of chair-side dentistry. So before we dwell into artificial intelligence, let's have a small look into how chair-side dentistry is really practiced. So again, I'm going to get into YouTube. Maybe there is no music, but you should be able. So this is acquiring the scan inside the mouth. This is a CEREC system. So the scan has been acquired. Then you check the scan. You get patient acceptance. You can design, the software is inbuilt into the CEREC, so you can design the crown yourself or use artificial intelligence. And then you send the design into the milling chamber, which is there in your clinic. This is how you put the material in. This could be a Emax, or it could be uh, a, a ceramic, and the robotics then takes over. And in flat, roughly 12 minutes to 15 minutes, you get the crown. You characterize it, stain and glaze it, put it in a porcelain furnace. Takes approximately 15 minutes, and that's your final preparation. And you place it inside the mouth. Yeah. So I'll stop it there. But the essence of that particular video was that if you have a CAD CAM system, you can design your crowns yourself, and there's artificial intelligence inbuilt into it. But what is changing the game is artificial intelligence. Now, as I said, either you own the full CAD CAM system with the software, which is extremely costly, may not be fully affordable in Indian conditions. The second option was sent to laboratory, where you're outsourcing your design and production to a laboratory. Uh, there are pros and cons to it. The con, of course, is that is the laboratory technician and the dentist at the same page? I mean, a dentist we know is getting access to a lot of continuing education. A lot of dentists today travel abroad for education. They attend symposia, so on and so forth. So the level of knowledge acquired by a dentist, is it the same as acquired by the technician sitting in the laboratory? Probably not. And that's the mismatch. And this is where artificial intelligence comes into play. So, how do you tackle complex design software? So, typically,
Dr. Ashish, if you can make it
yeah,
full screen, if you can make it full
yeah,
screen.
sure. Sorry. Yeah. So now comes the intermediary. Now, when I said that there is a dentist who has taken a scan with an intraoral scanner, he wants to get a design as per his knowledge, his expanded knowledge, which he's acquired over the years, plus by attending various symposia, and he wants to talk peer to peer. Now, he wants to connect with probably a CDT in India, or it could be abroad, or a fellow prosthodontist who has the software and he can do a wonderful design. So, this is where the number two option comes in, that is send to design center. So, instead of sending the scan to a dental laboratory, the dentist can choose to send the scan to a design center. The design center will have CDTs who are specialized. The only thing they do is design, design, and design. And they have gained experience out of that. And there are some simple cases where the dentist can also choose to send it to artificial intelligence design software, prosthodontic software, orthodontic software. We are going to have a look at it. But now the concept which is coming in between the dentist and the production comes artificial intelligence, comes design centers, and this changes the game completely because this gives the control back to the dentist, and we shall see it how this happens. So, first of all, is artificial intelligence present in our gadgets? Of course, it's present. If you see the best intraoral scanners available in the market, 3Shape, iTero, Shining 3D, all have artificial intelligence inbuilt. So, what happens here is that when you are scanning inside the mouth, sometimes you have the scan also takes in certain tissues. It also probably captures the tongue, and in the post processing, artificial intelligence understands that this is a tongue portion of the tongue, or this is a portion of the frenum which is not really required, and it removes it automatically without the dentist having to take any action. So artificial intelligence has already entered the mouth of the patient. So it's very much present in the best scanners available in the market. But coming from design software point of view, we have artificial intelligence now built up into the prosthodontic software as well. Now, this is called 3Shape Automate. What I'm showing you later, you can just Google it up. And what 3Shape Automate does is that this is an artificial intelligence based design prosthodontic software. It accepts the scan from virtually any intraoral scanner. So as a dentist, you can just scan. You can go to 3Shape Automate, register yourself, upload the scan there, and within, depending on your the price bracket, you will get the designed file, that is within a matter of minutes or matter of hours. So I mean, if you see, what it says is that start scaling your production. So this facility can be used by dental laboratories, and this can be used by dentists as well, where you just upload as many scans as you want, 24/7. This is artificial intelligence. This does not take a Diwali holiday. This is present 24/7. You can upload your scan at 12 o'clock at night, and you can get the scan back at within 10 minutes. So this is what artificial intelligence and design software is doing for us. This is the workflow to get into artificial intelligence 3Shape Automate. That is, first is you get into the site, You upload your order. Once you upload your order, you in this upload you also need to put attach your scan. um, you send it, you press the send button, you give some indications that this is a crown, interior crown. You want you want this particular margin to be there, so on and so forth. You can just put your wish list into it, and in a matter of minutes you get the design back, which this comes back into your Dropbox, it comes back into your email. You can check the design, you can suggest modifications. The artificial intelligence will again take it up and uh, give you the modified design. And then once you accept it, you can straight away, if you have a milling unit, you can mill it in your clinic. If you do not have a milling unit, just send it to the laboratory. So here what you have done is you have removed the human factor, you have removed the CDT from the equation. You are catering, you are being catered by an artificial intelligence. You will get a crown, you have a chance to intervene, and you can manufacture yourself by adding a milling unit, or give it to the laboratory and give strict instructions to the laboratory saying that, hey, don't touch my crown anymore, just manufacture it and give it back to me. And how is the costing? So if you look at the costing, it's very interesting. So what 3Shape Automate charges is depending on the time factor. So if I upload the scan and I want the design in flat 10 minutes, it will charge me 29 US dollar. Now this is the price in United States. But if I'm okay with receiving my design in 10 hours, then you can see the cost factor. It is less than $10. So it's basically, this is time is money. I mean, that concept has come here. Time is money. If you have a patient says, "Oh, I just have 2 hours," and you give me can you give me a crown? You just scan, you send it, you upload it to artificial intelligence. You get the design in 10 minutes, and if you are equipped with a milling unit, you can give him or her the final restoration within that same appointment, within 1.5 to 2 hours. And you can, of course there will be a premiumness to it. And if the patient can wait, then you get a relatively uh, cheaper kind of a design coming in at a relatively economical price. So artificial intelligence is already being used. It is already, 3Shape Automate is already running in United States. It's already running in other countries. I'm aware that it's running in Australia as well. It's running in Germany as well. A majority of the users are dentists because they have an intraoral scanner, and they are using this facility. This facility will come to India at some point in time as well. So, what are the advantages of artificial intelligent design software? At the moment, it is for simple crowns, single crowns, but work is in progress for bridges as well. So, probably in coming months, you can also get long span bridges designed by artificial intelligence. There is no human factor. There is no fatigue. There is no Diwali holiday. You can send the designs. You can upload the scan on Sunday. Most of the laboratories are closed on Sundays, so here you have an option. You can upload it on a Sunday, get it within a couple of minutes, and if you have a milling unit, you can manufacture it yourself in your clinic. You can access it from anywhere in the world. So this means that you just need an intraoral scanner, and this artificial intelligence software could be operating from anywhere in the world. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. You can access it, access the design when you go back home. You have a computer, you can do that. When you're on a holiday, you can do it, so on and so forth. If suppose a dentist is on a holiday and there's a VIP patient coming in, this is one of the best alternatives. There is no human factor coming in. You can download the design, send for production in your clinic. And of course, there is a cost saving because you don't require a designer. This is designed by artificial intelligence. There's a time saving. And artificial intelligence has now percolated in orthodontic software as well. So there are orthodontic softwares available in the market where they do auto segmentation of aligners. So today, if you look at the major aligner brands, all of them are utilizing some sort of artificial intelligence to design the aligners. So this is also something which is already there in the market, and the major aligner companies are using it from last 6 months to 1 year. Now, moving on to the second concept, if you remember, I had given two concepts, two intermediaries, which now are available to dentists. One is artificial intelligence. Second is a concept of dental design centers. Now, dental design centers are called virtual dental laboratory. It is not a laboratory which manufactures, it is a dental laboratory which has expertise in dental design. So these are basically, they could be CDTs who have very advanced level of designing. They could be sitting anywhere in the world. They could be in your city, they could be in your country, or they could be in Europe. It doesn't matter because everything is virtual. And this could also be a prosthodontist. This could also be an orthodontist who has got hold of the software, who's got full expertise on the software, and is able to design the prosthesis to the dentist and send it back. So this is also a concept which is becoming very, very popular. This is enabling a lot of dentists, because now a dentist who is scanning intraorally with the help of dental design centers is also talking or also dealing with a design center which is probably peer to peer, who has probably updated knowledge, and can do complex designs. So a dental design center today can design crowns, can design custom abutments, implant prostheses, surgical guides, so on and so forth. I mean, this is just an example I've taken from Tooth Sketch. This could also be complete dentures. This could also be aligners. So you can actually scan a patient, send it to a aligner, design company, design services. They can design the aligners, give you the design file, and if you have the armamentarium with you, you can manufacture these aligners in house. And very soon 3D printing will enable printing of aligners. It's in beta testing. I'm aware of certain aligner companies who are already 3D printing an aligner. So remember, an aligner is made like a vacuum forming. It's traditionally vacuum forming. You have a suck down method, and then you trim it, polish it, so on and so forth. Now imagine if you're able to 3D print an aligner. It is like it will be unbelievable. It's something which every dentist could do in their own clinics. Utilize a digital design center, a third party design center, so you don't need to design yourself. Give it to the specialist and just manufacture and give it back to the patient. So this is what the design centers are doing. Advantages of design centers. Who are design centers? These are specialist CDTs. These are not your regular CDTs. These are specialists. Some of them are dentists, some of them are prosthodontists. So these are people who are at the top of the game. The only thing they do is design on complex software, so they have gained experience in designing by sheer volume of work. They if they are typically a large design center could be doing 100, 150, 200 designs per day. So just by the sheer volume of work, they would have dealt with possibly every complex situation. Um, as I said, some of these designers are also dentists. They are prosthodontists. So the scanning dentist and the designing dentist are talking peer-to-peer mindsets. This is something which is missing. When we typically send the work to a laboratory, we don't know the education level of the laboratory technician, whether he's updated or not, whether he is able to visualize the design which the dentist wants, because the dentist has updated the knowledge. Has the CDT done that or not? So this is where the design center comes in. It's peer-to-peer mindset. There's cost saving, time saving. Of course, there's time saving because you don't need to do it yourself. Cost saving because of design centers coming into play. Some of these design centers have spare time. They could be individual dentists, they could be individual CDTs who have bought the software, and they are ready to give you a design at a relatively economical price. So, if and as I said, they can be available anywhere in the world. A design center from Turkey, a design center from India, so on and so forth. So definitely there's time saving, cost saving. The moment you receive the file, then what you do, either you print it or you mill it in your clinic, or you just have to instruct your laboratory that please don't meddle with the design. The design has been approved. Just mill it, print it, don't touch the design, polish it, and give it to me. So the workflow is changing completely with a design center coming into play, with an artificial intelligence coming into play. Dentists are getting more in control of the design, which is very much needed, and they are talking peer to peer. And as I said, the sixth point, that if you have a chairside assistant, he can perform, or he or she can perform point number five, that is, they can just print it or manufacture it in your own clinic. So this is the advantage of design centers coming into play. So coming to the main topic, that is the UDM dentistry. What I call is the upload, download, manufacturing dentistry. Now, this is a concept where uh, you are just uploading your scan, you are downloading the design. The downloading of design can be either from artificial intelligence or from a design center. And then the third decision you have to take is manufacturing. Now, whether you are manufacturing in your own clinic or you are instructing the laboratory to manufacture. So this is a new concept coming in UDM dentistry. So, what are the possibilities in UDM dentistry? To begin with, what is the conventional approach right now? You buy an intraoral scanner, you scan it and send it to the laboratory. Trust the laboratory technician to do a good job and give you the prosthesis. This is what is conventional. You can also now today opt for intraoral scanner, upload to AI software. We saw 3Shape Automate. That's one of the artificial intelligence software. There are a couple of others available today. Download the design. When you download the design, it's time bound. So when it is time bound, it is also a cost factor. Download the design, send to the lab for manufacturing. That's option number two. Option number three is intraoral scanner. You have taken, you upload the scan to design center. Let the design center, who are specialists, who are doing the designing part of it day in and day out, let them design it for you. Download the design and either mill or print it in the clinic, or ask your technician to do the job. And what are the indications? Now, if you're looking at the design center concept, then you can do single units, you can do multiple units, you can do implant prosthesis, complete dentures, aligners, because the design center would have all these software. They would have an exocad, they would have a 3Shape software, they would have an orthodontic software, they would have a CBCT software, and so they can merge them and they can give you a design uh, depending on the indication. So if it's a design center, it's a full play available today. If it is artificial intelligence, at this point in time, it is for single units. Bridges is work in progress, and complete denture is also work in progress. It's going to come probably 6 months, 1 year, maximum 2 years in time. Artificial intelligence would have developed to give a full play, and will compete with design centers going forward. A small little kind of a slide on artificial intelligence in dentistry in a more complex way. So on the left hand side, you have the data. You consider this to be a data from radiographs, that is CBCTs, typically a CBCT data. So that's your input at this point in time. When you look at the brain, this is not the human brain. This is the brain of artificial intelligence. So knowledge based artificial intelligence. Now, what is knowledge based artificial intelligence? You have created a software, and this software knows HNF. So head, neck, face. This particular software knows about it. Does this kind of software exist at this point in time? It's work in progress, but it's a knowledge based software. It knows all your indications. It knows all the anatomic positions. So the moment you give a radiographic image into this knowledge based AI, it will automatically diagnose what is the anomaly. Now imagine you probably you have just fed in the CBCT data, and it just says, okay, you have this particular patient has developing ameloblastoma here, or so on and so forth. This is artificial intelligence based diagnosis. Now if you further feed some more data to the artificial intelligence, that is, you feed your cat cam data. So your cat cam is your surface scan, your radiology is the x-ray. So the moment you feed your cat cam data to this knowledge based AI, it will superimpose the surface scan on the radiographic scan, and then what you get is probably artificial intelligence will give you cephalometric analysis on its own without an intervention from an orthodontist. Probably for a cephalometric analysis, you will also require a face scan. So a face scan is now possible. You have the software available. It's the software is called Beluga, and that software is available from last almost 2 years. So what is needed for cephalometric analysis, which comes out from artificial intelligence? Maybe a CBCT scan, uh, uh, and a facial scan, and that's it. You get artificial intelligence based cephalometric analysis. You can also probably, the moment you feed in a CAT CAM scan and a radiographic scan, you can get a surgical guide which could be produced using artificial intelligence. You can probably even get reverse implant planning. All these things are being done by human intervention right now, by design centers right now. But who knows, the way artificial intelligence is growing, we may get pretty decent outcomes from artificial intelligence. And in times to come, this is how it's going to be. So you'll have knowledge based AI. If you look at the brain portion, knowledge based AI, data driven AI, that's called machine learning. So you have fed in a lot of data into artificial intelligence that look, uh, you know uh, this is how a class 2 cavity looks like. This is how a ameloblastoma looks like. This is how a lesion looks like. You feed this, I mean, you feed millions of these images into artificial intelligence, and just like chat gpt, it will develop on its own. And the moment you put in your radiographic image, it will diagnose the problem for you. And the third level is artificial neural networks. Now we know what is neurons. Neurons is something which is typically meant when we say talk about human beings. But now you can create artificial neural networks. This is a further expansion of machine learning. So when artificial intelligence will have grown to such an extent that you can develop these various connections, and in times to come, now this is a long shot, this is not going to happen so early, but you are probably looking at a very different kind of a scenario. If any of us have seen this sitcom called Good Doctor, so in Good Doctor you see that this particular doctor, before he wants to get into a surgery, and he is planning, let's take an example, he's planning a surgery on the heart. Then he goes, he puts on his virtual reality glasses, he feeds a software with the real data of the patient, the real radiographic image of the patient. He puts a marker, he puts a sensor on the patient. So this software is getting a radiographic image, it's getting a 3D image. The particular doctor is wearing a virtual reality goggles or glasses, and then he is able to enter the body of the patient virtually. He does a dissection, he goes inside the patient's body, and is able to treat the anomaly without even giving an incision. And this is probably could be one of the indications, especially from oral surgery point of view, that tomorrow we will have knowledge based AI, we will have data driven AI, we will give the input of a CBCT, we will put some kind of a sensor on the patient, and we will give a CAT CAM data. There will be an interplay. This is called Internet of Things, when different types of technology communicate with each other. That's called Internet of Things. So Internet of Things will come into play. Virtual reality will turn it into a 3D graphic to the dentist, and the oral surgeon will be able to operate virtually and understand the complications and then better plan a virtual a real surgery. So this is going to be the future, probably a couple of years from now, but this is coming for sure. And I mean, this is a paper, you can go Google it up. It's a very, very interesting kind of development taking place. So, how do you become a new age digital dentist progressing to UDM? Remember, UDM is upload, download, manufacture. It's no longer restricted to just scan and send to laboratory. Now the concept is upload, download, manufacture. So first is you need step number one. You need to procure an intraoral scanner. Without intraoral scanner, you are not into AI dentistry in the real way. You are not a new digital dentist. So it is having an intraoral scanner today, according to me, is a must. And I have listed this price in INR. So it is 5 lakh INR, which is roughly in the range of around 6,500 US dollars. So for an end price of around 6,500 US dollar, you can acquire an intraoral scanner, which is decent enough, which can scan, which can scan intraorally, and will enable you to send this scan to a laboratory, to artificial intelligence, to a design center. Of course, you can go for costlier intraoral scanners as well. So an intraoral scanner today costs somewhere between 5 lakhs to 20 lakhs, which is from a car point of view between a Wagoner to a Jeep. And I think most of the dentists today, after a decent amount of years, maybe after 6 years or 7 years, can afford a Wagoner, to buy a Wagoner on a bank loan. So if you can afford to buy a Wagoner, you can very well afford to buy an intraoral scanner. It is only a matter of priority. You are prioritizing your cash to buy a Wagoner instead of an intraoral scanner. That's your choice, but it's no longer a question of affordability. So number one, procure an intraoral scanner. Step number two, after few months of sending to laboratory, do the conventional stuff, send your work to a laboratory. When you gain sufficient experience, upload either to an AI or design center. Send few scans to an artificial intelligence software. Send some few scans to a design center. Just understand how the approaches from a design center. The design center is going to be consultative because they are designing these kind of designs in and out. Third, once you are experienced in step number one and step number two, add a 3D printer. Today 3D printers are not costly. They cost typically around 3 lakhs to anywhere between 3 lakhs to 10 lakhs. You can get a 3D printer. You can add a mill. A mill has come down now to a price point of anywhere between 14-15 lakhs to 20 lakhs. So this is something which you can add at a later stage. And now comes another point. You can have a visiting CDT come to your clinic for final polishing. So today, all our Indian cities, especially coming from India, we have metros in India. So a CDT can take a metro, come down, get down at the nearest station, come down to your clinic, manufacture the crown for you in your clinic because you have a printer, you have a mill, polish it and give it to you. And of course, he will charge you for his services, for his hourly services, pay him. This is going to be the next step now, where the CDTs, because the CDTs will start offering their services to individual clinics. So that's step number three. Also, please remember, material sciences or material tech has improved to such an extent today that you don't need to do a lot of post processing. You just need to probably do glazing, which is something which a chairside assistant can do. You have a porcelain furnace and you get beautiful shining cosmetic teeth available. So this is how you progress. The main point is having an intraoral scanner is a must, and then you can permutate. You can either send to lab, you can send to artificial intelligence, you can send to design center. So this is my last slide. I end with Neil Armstrong because Neil Armstrong changed the way we looked at our solar system. So it was one small step for mankind, but one giant leap for it was one small step for a man, but one giant leap for mankind. And similarly, as a dentist, it will be a small step for us when we start sending our scans to artificial intelligence, but it will be a giant leap for dentistry. So the time has come now to embrace. We should not feel scared about artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is an enabler to a dentist. It is just going to enable you. It cannot take away a job because a dentist's job is hands on. So a robot can take your job, but artificial intelligence cannot take your job. So please embrace artificial intelligence. I end my presentation with this slide.
Thank you, Dr. Ashish. It was a fantastic lecture, and
Thank
you covered a lot of points, and you not only gave the current picture, but you also gave some actionable points to the dentist, whether he's a seasoned dentist or a beginner, where he can start and where he can visualize the coming few years of his practice, what kind of restorative dentistry or aligners or dentures work he'll be doing, what are
you. Right,
design centers, upload, download, manufacture concept was amazing, and how one need not be scared of AI, but accept it as an enabler that is going to revolutionize our practice. It's going to change a lot of routine work as well as help us in quick diagnosis, like you told CBCT, and it will have a library of all the anomalies, and things are going to be very, very simpler. Of course, at this point, we don't know the exact picture how it is going to be, to what level it is going to revolutionize, but at this point, we should all be ready because AI is not going to disappear anyway. It's only going to make itself more and more visible in our daily practice. So, thank you. It was an amazing session. And now we'll take up some of the questions sent by our registered delegates.
right.
Some of the things you have already covered in the lecture,
Mhm.
like the first question is the role of AI in the CBCT, you have already told. And
Yeah.
then second question is role of AI in orthodontics. Can it be a game changer in attracting more patients to the clinics? Will it help in giving perfect treatment plans?
Yeah. So now coming to orthodontic software. Now, when we talk about orthodontic software, the majority of innovation is taking place in aligners today. And as I covered, that artificial intelligence has entered into the orthodontic software, and the major aligner companies, the bigger ones, including the bigger ones in India, even the ones who produce locally in India, are using a sort of an artificial intelligence software to auto segment aligners. But when it comes to conventional braces, the wired braces, there's something which artificial intelligence can definitely do. What you This is a concept called indirect bonding. So what you have is that you have orthodontic softwares available in the market. You need to give them CBCT data of the patient. You need to give them a scan of an intraoral scanner, and both the scans are merged, and the artificial intelligence in the software is able to pinpoint where exactly the bracket has to be placed in an individual tooth. So, I mean, my knowledge on orthodontics is very preliminary, but as I understand from orthodontists, they place the bracket at a particular point on the tooth where maximum force can be applied. So this particular knowledge is available in artificial intelligence orthodontic software. So after the orthodontic software will place all your brackets virtually on the computer, and then what you do is you print this particular model. So you send it for printing. What you get is a tray. So just imagine a transparent tray. The transparent tray will have indentations of the bracket which you are using. The library has the bracket, so it could be any company's bracket. So once you print this particular tray, you have indentations. Then what you do is you take that particular bracket, you put it into the indentations, and then using the light cure method, you insert the tray with the bracket inside the patient's mouth, and then you light cure it, and in one step, one single clean step, with the patient opening the mouth for only less than 3 to 5 minutes, all the brackets in one particular jaw can be placed. Now what this is completely disruptive, and this kind of software is available. So this increases patient acceptance, because typically a orthodontist is placing a bracket tooth by tooth, and the patient has to keep the mouth open for extended hours. But if you're using artificial intelligence based orthodontic software in direct bonding, you can place your brackets in one small step, upper and lower jaw. So this is available already in the market. Yeah,
Okay, great. So just like we have precision medicine, I think we are slowly moving towards precision dentistry and precision orthodontics, where we are
absolutely,
very sure where exactly we have to place it optimally. Great, great
absolutely.
answer.
Yeah.
And you have already covered this. Best scanner for a beginner. There is a similar question below: how to choose future-proof intraoral scanner?
There is no future-proof intraoral scanner. I think in the next couple of years, intraoral scanner will be able to go inside a root canal as well. Will have some kind of a gadget which will see inside the canal as well, and it is evolving. So today you have different kinds of intraoral scanner. You have a plain intraoral scanner which will do the job, that is, it will scan. Then you have intraoral scanners like the 3Shape scanner, like the itero scanner, like the Medit scanner, like the Shining 3D and Cameo scanner, in which you have apps, diagnostic apps. So in these scanners, they not only scan but they diagnose to a large extent. You can also do smile designing. You can monitor the patients in their successive scans they have done. So every 6 months to 1 year, the scanners are evolving. The scanners are moving from wired to wireless. So there's nothing future proof. A scanner is just like probably your mobile phone, and every now and then there will be some innovation happening. So there's nothing future proof about an intraoral scanner anymore.
So according to what you said, what I can gather from it is right now we have got iOS intraoral
Yeah,
scanners. Slowly we'll have ICS intracanal scanners. Will be scanning the entire
right,
canal when we are doing endodontics. All right,
absolutely.
great. Yeah. Can you elaborate on the role of AR and VR in the future in dental training and in real life scenarios?
Yeah, so I mean, I'll start with AR. Now, what is AR and what is VR? So, VR is virtual reality, and AR is augmented reality. So, virtual reality is something which is virtual, but when you add some anatomy or some real life environment into virtual reality, that becomes augmented reality. So we already have a software in augmented reality. It's called Kapanu, and it's a company which has been bought by Evukla. So what it does is that it empowers the patient. So what the patient has to do is that he has to download this particular software which is free of charge, called Kapanu. And once they are in the software, they have to take their selfie in smiling mode. The photograph will be captured, and then that software will give you certain kinds of designs on how the teeth will look like. So there's smile design built into it. So there's artificial intelligence, and the patient will be able to have its own have 4 or 5 options, and can choose a particular option and send that file to the dentist saying that, look, I am coming for an appointment at 2 o'clock to your clinic. This is how I want my smile to look. So the dentist will then also download this file in Kapanu, and will further go and treat will do the tooth preparation and the designing in Kapanu, and then it is manufactured. So this is augmented reality, giving full kind of you can say power to the patient. Now, when it comes to virtual reality, and especially in trainings, which was the question, virtual reality will be used in a big way in dental colleges. It's already being used. Government Dental College Bombay already has a virtual reality, you call it a cockpit kind of a scenario, where all these students, they get into a particular kind, it's a phantom head, it's a futuristic phantom head. There is a sensor attached to it, and they are doing virtual reality kind of simulations. And then once the virtual reality simulations are done, basically this is crown preparation, this is class 2 preparations which are being done, and then they are checked by the HOD. So virtual reality is going to enter into dental colleges in the coming future. Yeah.
Great. All right. Next question. Dentistry requires a lot of skill and handwork than most of the medical procedures. And how much can AI influence the skill aspect involved in dentistry?
Yeah, I mean, AI, as I had already touched upon in my presentation, AI is a software enhancement. So, and when you say artificial intelligence, it has already entered into the hands of the dentist when you are scanning. So, that's available. Artificial intelligence has entered into a CBCT. So, it helps in diagnosing situations. It is helping the dentist to do cephalometric testings. It is helping to do reverse implant planning. So anything and everything which a dentist needs, from diagnosis to design, is going to be enabled. But at the end of the day, execution has to be done by the dentist, and this is a savior. I mean, artificial intelligence is going to come to the aid of the dentist. It's not going to. It's going to take away a lot of load from the dentist, and it's already happening. So these softwares are available in the market. Yeah.
Okay. There is one question asked by a dentist. Can you name
Yeah.
some of the softwares? I think you already
Yeah.
named Kapanu. You
Yeah.
also, and Kapanu is taken up by Ivoclar.
Ivoclar, yes.
Yeah. And
and
any
uh,
other
and
software?
and you can look into 3Shape software. You can look into Exocad also has artificial intelligence. There are certain other orthodontic softwares available which are also using artificial intelligence, especially in aligners. So they are available. I have forgotten the name, but few of them are available. There are some artificial intelligence softwares available on implant guides, so on and so forth. But basically, it is Kapanu, it is 3Shape, it is Exocad. These are the ones who are leading artificial intelligence.
Great. Uh, how will AI affect cost effectiveness? It's an upcoming technology, and once it gets fully established in India, how will it be? How easily will it be accepted by the patients, considering it is going to be a little highly priced than the routine dentistry that we are doing right now? And how dentist can use AI and still remain reasonable and affordable to his patients?
Yeah. So I mean, I've covered this in my presentation. Artificial intelligence is not going to be costly. In fact, it's going to bring down the cost, because what's going to happen is there will be dentists, there will be laboratories who will have softwares. They have spare capacity. They will utilize the spare capacity to design. So you have design centers, you have artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is also time bound, as we had seen in 3Shape Automate, where if you're okay with getting the design after 10 hours, then the price is going to be relatively cheaper. So artificial intelligence is not going to add to the cost. According to me, it's going to bring down the cost. And coming from the point of view of affordability to the Indian audience, now when you're using digital technology, and digital technology is getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. I mean, you get a intraoral scanner for something like 7,000 US dollar. You can outsource your design to a design center or artificial intelligence. You can buy a 3D printer for less than a 3 lakh rupees. Now you take this armamentarium into tier 2, tier 3 cities into India, and you can actually print a complete denture. So 3D printed complete dentures could be a reality, will be a reality very soon. We are going to do that in India. Couple of dentists in India are going to get into this. And just imagine, you don't require a furnace, you don't require burnout furnaces, you don't require half of the stuff which is required from investment point of view. So this is going to bring down the cost. This is going to take the technology closer to our villages, and this is going to this is how artificial intelligence will be an enabler to the poor. So artificial intelligence will cater to both the portions of the country, the affluent India and the relatively poor Bharat. So artificial intelligence is an enabler for both the target audience.
Great. So there is a comment. So software guided AI will be helpful in CVCT. Yes, exactly the
Yes,
point.
yes, yes.
And if you want to take up this question, I don't know what the
Hmm.
exactly what to ask. What is the difference between dentistry in America and India for AI?
Of course, I mean it's America is highly evolved, so they are. Uh, if I give you an example of 3Shape Automate, so 3Shape Automate, which is an artificial intelligence based software program, it's available in United States from last 1.5 years. So they have gone much ahead, but these kind of softwares will be available in India as well very soon because everything is virtual. It's just a matter of time, maybe in another 6 months to 1 year. So no, we are bridging the gap in India. So at this point in time, of course, United States is practicing a different level of artificial intelligence. Sirex system has artificial intelligence in it. 3Shape scanners has artificial intelligence in it. 3Shape is being used in India. Sirec is being used in India. So it's not that we are not using artificial intelligence in India. Yeah.
Great. Any course recommendation for design center establishment?
This will be a regular course given by majority of our, high-end prosthodontists and high-end CDTs. Basically, you're looking at Exocad and 3Shape. So these companies have KOLs, they have trainers in India, and you can get in touch with trainers in India and learn the software. Once you learn the software, you can set up your own design center. So it's available in India. Yeah,
So they can contact either Exocad or 3Shape.
yeah. Just contact Exocad 3Shape, and they will route you to the best KOL, and then you can take the course. I mean, 3-day course or a 10-day course. It's of course chargeable, but these KOLs have huge experience, and they can train you completely on the software.
Okay. So the next question from the one of the registered delegates: is there a digital bite possible in FMR cases?
Yes, you can. You can when you're looking at full mouth rehabilitation, you're looking at edentulous, I think, typically. So if you're talking about edentulous, then edentulous scanning at this point in time has not evolved from intraoral scanning point of view. But if you're looking for dentulous point of view, then a bite registration is a normal protocol in an intraoral scanner. In fact, the top intraoral scanners are now recording the virtual bite as well. So typically what happens is you take a upper impression, digital impression, you take a lower impression, then you tell the patient to bite, and you record the static bite on both the sides. But in step number 4, especially in some of the more evolved intraoral scanners like Trios, like Sirec, like Itero, you can tell the patient to do virtual grinding movements and record the bite while the patient is doing those kind of movements. So virtual articulation is also possible. So yes, of course, in full mouth cases, you can record the dynamic bite of the patient. Yeah.
Okay. Next question. It's a long question. Any
Mm.
recommendations on hands-on courses for 3D and AI to pursue, or what other career routes are there for a dentist to do non-clinical remote jobs in data management, AI, and 3D in dental industry? Where do you see the focus in the future of expanding career options? This can be a separate lecture by
I
itself.
know. I mean, this is by itself. Yeah. But I mean, again, the courses are available from the KOLs. If you look into the market, there are, from prosthetic point of view, there are very limited softwares available which have artificial intelligence. The top two are 3Shape and Exocad. So again, I would route you to Exocad and 3Shape. And coming to possibilities, if you are really good in design, if you know the anatomy, if you know, if you have a kind of a mindset to design, then you can use your spare capacity and you can go global. So that is available, but I think the maximum amount of possibility now is in digital clinical practice. I mean, this is going to be the best time. The next 3 to 5 years is going to be the best time to be a dentist, to have your own clinic, and to practice UDM dentistry: upload, download, manufacture. Imagine if the patient comes to you and you tell the patient, okay, I'm going to take the scan, I'm sending your scan to artificial intelligence, or I'm going to send your scan to a design center in Mexico, and that gentleman will design and send me the scan within the next 10 minutes, and in front of your eyes I'm going to manufacture the crown for you. That patient is going to be floored. So the best thing to do right now is to practice digital dentistry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next question. Gingival bleeding during the scan. How much can it alter the impression, and how to improve? How to
Yes,
manage
bleeding.
this problem?
Yes, bleeding has to be controlled. I mean, any kind of blood interference will create interference, and of course, regular techniques which a dentist uses. You need to use that that gingival retractor with some kind of an antiseptic solution, which will restrict bleeding, and you will have to then scan, because any kind of blood will probably cause some interference in the scan. So normal procedures while recording the bite. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Last three questions.
Hmm.
Uh, can AI help us in developing high-end dental cleaning materials?
Dental cleaning materials.
I don't know what
Um,
they wanted to know.
I
I asked.
I'm not too sure on this, because see, artificial intelligence is a software. So
Yes.
if you want to use software to create some kind of a disinfectant, I don't know. I'm not aware of it. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
not in a
yeah.
position to answer this. Yeah.
Even I couldn't gather much of
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
he wanted to ask.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, Now that you are you are an expert in scaling the businesses. There is a question here:
Hmm.
how to scale the business in remote areas or developing areas as a consultant? Mainly, they want to say
Again,
how they can make
yeah.
use of the evolving digital dentistry and newer tools.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, see, just take an example. Let's take a tier three village. Is there a laboratory there in a tier three village? Probably no. So if you can buy CAD CAM equipment, don't buy expensive CAD CAM equipment. Buy relatively economical solutions. Take a scanner, buy a 3D printer, buy a economical milling unit, and if you have a tier three model, you can practice dentistry in that particular village. And if you're looking for consultation, remote consultation, then of course that's limited scope. I mean, how dentistry is something which is to be done inside the mouth. It is a wet finger kind of a thing, so this can only remain consultative. um, I mean, I really don't know how you can practice dentistry from a remote uh, option, except if you're in the field of radiology, dental radiology, and if you're in the field of, to a some extent, in dental pathology. Apart from that, you need to wet your fingers. So remote dentistry as such cannot work.
I
Yeah,
think, as you said, it can be portable diagnostic tool, something
yeah,
one can carry, travel from one clinic to another clinic. Either you are
yeah,
scanning the soft tissues, or you are scanning
right.
the teeth, or diagnosing, or AI
Yeah,
enabled CBCT, something like. Okay, that was
correct. But
okay.
you need
Coming
you
to
need
the
to
last
be
question.
physically present in that village. Yeah,
Yes, yes, yes.
yeah, yeah.
And I think this is the best question to end the session with.
Mhm.
What is the best thing that can be the next game changer with AI, and that can be implemented from the next day?
Intraoral scanner. Get into the. If you don't have an intraoral scanner, get into intraoral scanner. That's the window to digital dentistry. And if again I'm telling you, I want to end this presentation saying that if you can afford to buy a Wagoner today on a loan for 3 years, you can afford an intraoral scanner. It is just your priority is different, that you're buying a car over an intraoral scanner. Intraoral scanner has artificial intelligence in it, so that's the first step. You can implement it today itself.
Great, great.
Yeah.
That was the best answer. And I think we have covered all the questions sent by the registered delegates, as well as the ones who had sent the live questions. And with this, I extend my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Ashish Mittal for so beautifully uh, detailing the current scenario and what is going to come up in the coming years. You covered intraoral scanners, 3D printing, and AI, VR, AR, everything. And people who attended the entire session really got a lot of knowledge from this lecture, and you have also solved a lot of questions. And like every other episode, soon we will be coming up with the summary of this lecture, a 5-point summary. And the link to the recorded lecture will be posted on social media. So keep watching the space. And so, Dr. Ashish, thank you so much. Thank you for taking out your valuable time, being here, and sharing your immense knowledge that you have gathered over the years by meeting so many dentists and dealing with such a wide spectrum of digital dentistry. You are there and you have an idea how it is going to evolve in the coming years. So, you have given us everything that we wanted to know. So, thank you so much. And to all the viewers, soon we'll be announcing our next episode, episode number 26. And again, the theme will be each episode one clinical challenge. Thank you so much and good night, everybody.
Thank you.